Well, we're finally back on the logging railroad again.
Yes, rumor has it it's up in the air.
The project's been up in the air for a while, and now it's actually up in the air. It's mounted up on the wall where it belongs, above the game room, if you will, the jukeboxes and pinball game. But it was always supposed to go up here, and we were working on this last winter.
Right.
And we took a break to work outside on the garden railroad through the summer, and kind of got a lot of work done out here.
Oh, I would say a tremendous amount of work.
Tremendous amount of work, and then the weather kind of closed that down.
Right.
So this whole thing's become sort of flip-floppy seasonal.
Exactly. That's Utah weather.
So I struggled with the garden railroad, trying to, but no, it's. And eventually I just had to give up when the snow was deeper than the rotary snow plow. So back on to the logging railroad.
Yeah, no more play.
And we've been building all of the components for this down on tables on the lower level, and test fitting and trying things out. And some of that's been here on the channel, and some of it hasn't been here on the channel. But now comes the time to put it all up on the wall.
Oh, wow. What a job.
And scary in a weird sort of way. So the very first thing up here is the painted backdrop.
Right.
And that, of course, was down on the tables, and that all got painted flat while it was down on the tables. And also your building fronts.
Yes, those were fun to make.
Well, you've been making tons of these things.
Yes, you just start turning them out, I can't stop.
Yeah, the original plan was for you to just make 3 or 4 of these to go onto the backdrop, because there's no distance here. The tracks are right up against the backdrop, and it's like, but we want to have some building fronts, so we want to have them light up.
Exactly. So I did a forced perspective, and there they are.
And some of them are lit up with electroluminescent panels, EL panels, and then this one's got actual lights inside it.
It does, with actual shelves and actual lamp oil.
Some of them, there's just enough space to do that, but like Gus Rich's here is just, there's no space.
No,
it's got to be part of the backdrop. And so this has all been done with EL panels. And doesn't it look good?
Yes.
I love the way these are turning out. So we're actually going to do a whole show
on how to do a flat building with forced perspective.
A flat building with forced perspective, because here's what Gus Rich's looks like with the room lights turned on.
Right. Well, with the building fronts, I thought that they could be done 3D instead of just printed off on a computer.
Well, sure, why not?
Yeah, I mean, just, they're basically flat. The thickest one is 2 inches thick.
Right, and we kind of did this on the backdrop outside using those burr woods.
Right, and that's where I got the idea. Why not try to do it inside?
And here's your latest project.
Right, a movie theater. And that whole thing, the front sidewalk and all, is about maybe 4 inches thick.
And this is an old theater from your hometown.
It is. There's a lot of people that don't remember it, but I certainly do. The Dia Theater.
I know a lot of people have been going, oh, I remember that.
Right, and there's a lot of people that don't remember. I guess at one time it was called the Cozy, and then it was changed to the Dia Theater.
But here we have, this is Stribble Springs.
Yes.
At Angels Camp.
Right.
But there's these 4 buildings here, and you built these 4 buildings, and again, different lighting techniques. And then I started actually lifting up the 3 modules that make up the railroad, and then plugging in, everything's on plugs.
Right.
And plugging in all of the wiring for everything and hooking everything up, and suddenly, holy cow, it's a railroad.
We have us a railroad,
We
yes.
have us a railroad. Now, there's different lighting effects. There's overhead lighting and sunset lighting and the building lighting, and it can all be controlled, some of it via internet, but that way you can change the colors and the lighting setup, and it's just really fun to go through all kinds of different lighting setups on this and try it out in different lights. Now, this was a problem.
The cake didn't work out.
The cake, I measured everything. I tested everything. I put everything up here on the wall, and everything was all set. And when I set the 3rd module in place, the tracks were out of alignment by 1/2 inch.
Ay, ay, ay.
So I undid these wall brackets, and I had to raise a couple of them up about 1/2 inch.
Wow.
And get everything back into level and true here by moving these 3 brackets that you see right here, and that solved the problem.
Oh, good.
I have no idea how it happened.
Shift in the force.
A shift in the force. But there it is. All 3 modules, all the lights turned on, everything plugged in, everything running from its internet controllers, everything working exactly the way it's supposed to be working.
Isn't that cool?
Except for the track.
Well, we'll get it.
Now this is the perspective, because it's up above the door, it's 7 feet up in the air. So this is actually the perspective that you see it from when you're just walking by, if you're
Right.
up kind of close to it. And I tried to design it so that it would look rational when it's up above your head and you'd still be able to see it.
Right.
But if you just stand up on a little step stool, then that brings the whole thing right up to eye level.
Exactly.
And then you can see perspectives like this.
Yes, the lights and the railroad track and the grease.
And so here again, here's what it looks like as you're walking through the door, walking into the shop on the other side, and you're kind of looking straight up its nose, if you will. But if you just step up on the little step stool, 1 step up, and that's the perspective right there.
And I love that perspective. That's just cool.
Well, a railroad always looks best at eye level.
It does. It does.
And so just being able to step up just 10 inches and then to be able to see the railroad at this perspective. And then when the trains are going by, which they will be very soon,
Right.
then this will be a much better perspective. But I went ahead and got all the trees put in. Everything had been pre-planned and labeled and measured and marked, and I don't know how that one thing went wrong. But everything else went right, and everything has dropped in. All the trees went right where they belong. Now, I am still making a few figures.
Yes, it figures. Don't.
That figures! 1 or 2 figures have already gone into place, and
This guy.
including this guy here.
Yes,
Yeah,
we've
this
had
is,
another sighting.
Yeah, this is what's his name, Sydney, something like that. Anyway, this is him, and then I went ahead and hooked up the sound system,
Oh, that's the best part yet.
and it's just a background sound system. Of course, the locomotives will have sounds, but just check out the wonderful background sounds for the scene up here. That just really brings it to life. Well, anyway, we will be picking this up as we get the trains running.
Yes.
And the rest of the figures and so on and so forth. If you haven't been over to the channel, and if you're not a subscriber, please click on the upcoming blue button to become a subscriber coming up just about there.
There it is.
Well, we're not sure how you found this video on the internet. We hope you didn't find it boring, and we will see you here again on Sunday.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.